So I had the neck curve selected. I'm going into component mode just to check to see how this functions. Okay, so I'm going to grab a few of these, and it seems to be working okay. So we'll need to create a couple clusters. We're going to use 3 clusters this time so that we have more control over the neck. It's very long, so we need to decide how we're going to do this. So we need to count my CVs. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. And I need to, so I'll use the bottom 6, and then the top 6 for the bottom and the top clusters, and then I'll use all of them except for the very first and the very last CV for the middle cluster. And we'll see what kind of behavior we get that way. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I just changed my mind. We'll just use the bottom 5 for the bottom cluster. Okay, so go to cluster, click apply. Okay, select our curve, go back into component mode, and then we'll select them all except for the top one and the bottom one. Click apply, and then we'll select the top 5. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll click create. That will dismiss our window. Okay. Now we need to control the weighting of these. So we'll go back to our curve one more time. Make sure we're in component mode. And this one, we need to decide, kind of mathematically how much weighting there should be to this vertex towards the middle cluster. So go to Window, General Editors, Component Editor. Right now it's 1 to 1. Let me rename these clusters so I can know for sure what I'm doing. So this is going to be the bottom, neck bottom cluster handle. I'm going to copy that. Okay, paste it. This is the neck mid cluster handle. This is the neck top. Cluster handle. Okay, now I should be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better. So with my curve selected, make sure I'm in component mode, and I go back to my component editor. Window, General Editors, Component Editor. I have some more meaningful names in here. And this, there's an overlap of 4 CVs between these 2 clusters, where the middle cluster and the bottom cluster are controlling 4 of the CVs in combination. So we can divide that up evenly by doing 80-20, 60-40, and so on and so forth. So the neck bottom for this first CV, that should be 80, or 0.8, sorry, and 0.2. Next one, 0.6, 0.4, and then we got 0.4 and 0.6. And then we should have 0.2, and 0.8. Okay, so now when I go to this next CV here, I should be using the mid cluster and the top cluster. I'll show you guys. There's the top one. There's the mid one. Okay, and I want 80% to the mid, 20% to the top. I'm just working my way up. So 60-40, 0.6. I take myself too literally when I say that. Then 0.4, 0.6, and this should be 0.2 and 0.8. Okay. Don't really need that wide. Okay, so I'm switch out of component mode, select these, see what kind of motion I get out of them, and that looks, pleasant enough. Okay, what I'm looking at is that the curve stays, somewhat curvish. It's not breaking too abruptly. So okay. So with that done, I'm going to create controls for these. So it turns out that this cluster right here should be controlled by this control. The bottom cluster of the neck should be controlled by the top spine control. So I'm going to select the top spine control, shift select that neck bottom cluster handle, and we go to constrain, parent, and tell it to maintain offset. Okay, we'll click apply. Okay. Actually, I just changed my mind. We want to be able to move the neck independently of the body, and that doesn't allow us to do that. So let me undo that. And we need to create another control. And then we'll create a third control that will control both of them, both of the controls. So that way we have an option to move just the torso, or just the neck, or move both of them. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video. This is the same way that I created all the other controls. Well, actually, do you guys want me to just record it? Or do you want me to pause it so you don't have to watch it? Go ahead, what? Record it? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just duplicate this shoulder anim. And so I'm going to Control D. And I'm going to call this to neck bottom underscore anim. Okay. Then I'm going to select that shoulder anim, and I'm going to rename it. I'm going to duplicate it one more time. I'm going to leave it at shoulder anim, but I'm going to rename the original shoulder anim to spine top. That way I can differentiate between my three controls. Okay. So now I've got spine top, neck bottom, and shoulder anim. So I'm going to go shoulder anim, I'm going to get rid of that one. Okay. Now I have the three controls I need to have right there. I have the neck bottom control cluster. All three of these controls, let's see,